Week 7 is in the books for the National Football League, which means another loss for the Green Bay Packers. What's up, everybody? BC coming at you with this week's Packers review, Week 7 against the Denver Broncos. Clearly, this is audio format, only out of state, thus out of the studio. But I picked a good time to do such, because there's not a lot to talk about in this game. This was 4 quarters of bad football from a very bad team, the Denver Broncos, and an even worse team in the Green Bay Packers. Now, usually we begin with a little bit of a rant and then we go to a full review of the game, a quarter-by-quarter breakdown. But when I say there was nothing going on in this game, I mean it was 2 really bad teams doing a whole lot of nothing. Thus, we're going to flip it up this week. And we're going to do the quarter-by-quarter review now, and this should literally take a couple, 2-3 minutes tops. 2 to 3 minutes tops. That's how bad this was, guys. And at the end of this quarter-by-quarter breakdown, you're still going to get the rant, because there's a whole lot of truth bombs that need to be said, and it's about time in the Packers community that we're just being honest about this year's team and what needs to happen. But first, to the game itself. Now, the first 2 quarters of this game were both embarrassingly sad and tragically bad. The Denver Broncos score a field goal in the first quarter. That is it. 3 points, on to the next. The Packers, they scored nothing. Nada, nilch, 9. No, you do not collect points. Do not pass go. Do not collect your $200. The Packers can't score anything. Our defense, I guess you can say they made a stand. It's the Broncos, for crying out loud, but the defense held them to 3 points. Our offense kept volleying it right back. We didn't know what to do with the football, so we just gave it back to them. Now you say, okay, get the jitters out. It's the first quarter. You're coming off a bye. You should be pristine, right? You have to remember, the Packers are coming off their bye. We are fully fresh. Do we have all of our players? No. Is there injuries? Of course. But we are fresh. Our game plan from the coaches to the players should be pristine. And sadly, it doesn't even have to be. You could bring 30, 40% of what your organization is, and you're most likely going to beat the Broncos, right? Not so fast. Second quarter, the jitters are out. Okay, the rust is shaken off. Let's play Packer football now. What did we do in the second quarter? Absolutely nothing. We watched the Broncos score a second field goal. And then they said, well, hey, we have a field goal in the first quarter. We have a field goal in the second quarter. Wouldn't it be cool if we got 2 field goals in the second quarter? Because 2 beats 1, and we'd have a second quarter better than the first. So I hope you guys are keeping track. I'm trying, man. I'm trying to make this review fun, right? Funner than what the game was. But all that happened in the second quarter was the Broncos scored 2 field goals to the 1 field goal that they scored in the first quarter. And just like the first quarter, the Packers scored nothing in the second quarter. Do you realize, against the Denver Broncos, one of, if not the worst team in the National Football League, we scored 0 points for the entire half coming off of a bye? That tells you the strategy from the coaching staff, from LaFleur on down, straight to the players, from Love down. Everybody is involved in this mega shitfest. So then we go into halftime. Good. Everybody collect yourself. RELAX. Regroup. Remember what you came there to do. You didn't show up to play Monopoly or sink somebody's battleship or play Twister with the cheerleaders. You showed up to take care of one of the worst teams in the National Football League, so that maybe, just maybe, the league will look at you as a possible in the future good team. So what do we do in the third quarter? Well, for the majority of it, until about maybe the last minute to 2 minutes, we did absolutely nothing again. The entire quarter. While Broncos are saying, you know what they said? They said, the Broncos said, well, the first quarter we scored a field goal. The second quarter, we scored 2 field goals. What if in the third quarter, we do one of those touchdown thingies? What if we got one of those touchdown things? And Coach Sean Payton is like, well, damn, Russell, that's a good idea. And they scored one of those touchdown thingies. And there's our Green Bay Packers, basically with their thumbs up their asses because you wouldn't have been able to tell the difference from what they were actually doing on the field. But then in the last couple of minutes in the third quarter, Jordan Luck showed up because sometimes luck can spark success. So we'll take it. But another horribly underthrown ball by Love. There's a reason he has the highest incompletion ratio in all of football. It's because he does not know how to throw the football where it needs to be. The kid's got a hell of an arm. He can launch it 50, maybe even 60 yards down the field. That's great. Without accuracy, you might as well throw it to the top of the bleachers. So let's go to those 2 touchdowns. Both easily could have been and probably should have been intercepted. The first at the end of the third quarter. You see our receiver has 3 orange jerseys beat. He's trying to get to that end of that end zone. He's running his route beautifully. All you have to do is lead him. Lead that ball. He will meet you. He's ran his route beautifully. He's got everybody beat. Instead, Love grossly underthrows it. And somehow, because he fought for his life, he actually came up with that ball. Grossly underthrown. Just like the second touchdown, 4th and 2, 8:34 left in the game. 87 is running to a wide open pocket. All Love has to do is lead him there. He will meet you. He will get into the end zone easily. Instead, 87's got to stop and turn back to the ball. Tips the ball in the air and somehow comes into another white jersey. Don't know how, because you can see that secondary player has 2 orange jerseys around him. How we came up with these 2 touchdowns with how grossly these balls were thrown is beyond me. But again, sometimes luck is better than love. And this is the last play of the game. This is a Hail Mary for no reason. We understand you need 20 to 25 yards. It was 3rd and long due to some penalties and just some bad play. So we need about 3rd and 23, 3 and 25, something like that. So what do? Second week in a row, we decide to go for all the marbles. A straight Hail Mary. The problem is, Love cannot complete Hail Marys. He doesn't even come close. And this was no different. To end the game, we go for a 45-yard bomb. And do you guys see a problem with this scenario? There's 2 orange jerseys engulfing a white jersey. The chances of our player coming up with that grossly underthrown ball are basically slim to about none. Sure enough, if you're wondering, that ball was intercepted. You can already see their players are positioned even better than ours to catch this ball. You wouldn't even know we were on offense by looking at this. So now the only question left for Green Bay Packer fans is, when are we going to be honest and just say the 2023 team completely sucks? From the coach to the quarterback. They look lost. They look confused, befuddled. There's no rhythm, no organization, and they lack the basic fundamentals that every professional team would need to play professional football games. You lost against the Raiders, but okay, then you have a bye week. You say, all right, as Jordan Love said, it just left a bad taste in his mouth. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to have a pristine game plan. We're going to come out more badass, fresh, and ready to whoop that ass. And the cool thing is, you got the Broncos, man. Coming off the bye against the Broncos, you did something right because the heavens above opened up and said, we're going to grant the Green Bay Packers a pretty easy schedule. The Raiders, a bye week, the Broncos. You can't have a better month of football in the NFL than the Packers just had, or should have. Instead, we come off that loss to the Raiders. We have the bye week and we come out and we lose to the Broncos. The Broncos. And I just showed you some of the plays, man. 2 of those were touchdowns. Touchdowns that could have easily, should have probably been intercepted. But hey, we'll take luck at this point over love. Packers lost against the Raiders and the Broncos. I'm still trying to comprehend how that's even possible. Never in a billion, gazillion years would I even imagine that scenario playing out. But it's what happened. And there's people that will say the kid needs more drives. He needs more reps, more games. Give it a year. Give it 2 years, BC. Jordan Love's the guy. At what point are you finally going to say he lacks the fundamentals? He doesn't have the it factor. I say it all the time when I put up wrestling uploads, right? In professional wrestling, he or she, that wrestler, either has the it factor or they don't. And if they have it, they're going to get cheered or booed. But either way, people are going to care about them. In football, you have to have the it factor. You have to be good at your job. You have to be good at your position so that you can amplify everybody else around you. If you're a cook, you wouldn't show up to work every day and burn the eggs in the steak. So when your manager drives in from time to time, and every time that manager rides into that parking lot, there's 3 or 4 fire engines in that parking lot. There's a smokestack coming out the roof. Oh, that's just Charlie again. He's burning the steaks. Maybe they just wanted them well done. No. They're literally on fire with half the kitchen. Charlie's over there with his hand shrugged. I don't know what happened, sir. I left to go to the bathroom, take a couple of calls, went back to wipe my ass. And when I came back, the kitchen was on fire. Well, right now, Jordan Love is setting these games ablaze, and everybody's turning a blind eye. He'll learn. He's still new. It's his first season as head quarterback. Okay, it's not his first season overall. He's played many football games, full football games. To look this bad, something is wrong. And as Packer fans, we're going to have to be honest from here on out. Something is tragically wrong with our starting quarterback being the starting quarterback. And we miserably misjudged this Jordan Love thing. We all wanted it to work. We're taking our L's on the chin and we're moving on. But these 2 losses, when I say unacceptable, that word has never been more amplified than right now. And if you can't beat the Raiders and the Broncos, who can you beat going forward? This is BC Amplified. This has been your Packers Review. Packers Broncos Week 7. Until next time, and there will be that next time. BC saying check you. Peace.